Show might be canceled, but that doesn't mean that we have to stop reviewing. Greetings, geeks and geek girls. It is me. I am back for Swamp Thing. Second episode. This show, oh boy, so conflicted because I really like it, but I know it's being canceled. So I'm gonna just try to put that sadness away and enjoy the ride, which is a really good ride, but in order to go into further detail, I need to spoil. So, spoiler alert, if you guys haven't seen the episode, go watch it and then come back and tell me what you think in the comments down below. Wow, I'm getting fast at saying that. So, we pick up with them investigating what happened to Alec. They know his little boat burned up, and that's about it. Well, and so Matt, our old school friend of Abby, who we find out they weren't a thing, but he wanted them to be a thing. And he might still, but knowing his comic counterpart, that might not happen. But anyway, so they go to investigate. The sheriff comes in, which is where we finally get to see Jennifer Connelly as the sheriff, Matt's mom. And she clearly doesn't like Abby, but not as much as the mother of the friend. I think she's just trying to be protective of her son, though, in the end. And, she goes and apparently is now living with her friend, her journalist friend, who we just slyly find out is gay. That's cool. So, she talks with her friend and finds out that the police have already picked up Alec's research and all that, so she can't go over it to see what he found, to see if it can help her case or help figure out what happened to him. So she decides that there is a way for her to get to his research, and that's the dude who was funding it. Go to him and ask him, which, if you remember, he's also the father of her friend. And apparently she goes to see him, and we find out that apparently Abby moved in with them when she was 8. Because something happened with her parents. And so she was like a second daughter to them until they blamed her for their daughter's death, their bio daughter's death, and basically disowned her. And he apologizes for it, but then when she asks for the research, he says no, and to quote her, "I forgot how good you were at making no sound like a favor." Or you were always good at that. But anyway, so clearly still the villain here. And he said no, so she's like, crap, where do we go? Hey, best friend, do you know where Alec lived? Maybe we can go to his place. And we find out where he lived. He lived on top of or in, they didn't really clarify, a movie store. I think it was a movie store. Movie store or bookstore or both. Ran by the town's local movie star, who's an actor who starred in a movie called Blue Devil. Yep, this is the guy who's going to become Blue Devil. Or maybe not, now that there's not a season 2. Anyway, the actor's proving that he's a lot better than Sharknado gave him credit for. I mean, from what I saw, he did a really good job in Sharknado, but here he's a lot better character. And I already really like him for how little we saw of him. And even though I don't think we will because of budget reasons, I do still kind of hope that we get to see him as Blue Devil. Anywho, we then see her go over some footage of Alec, and we find out that he liked her, and we earlier found out that she liked him. It was almost going to be like a little rom-com situation until he died. Which, there are rom-coms like that, but they star Daenerys Targaryen. And so that's for a different type of movie. Anyway, they go and she gets a call because she finds out by this time that the little girl, Cassie, I believe that's her name. I could be totally getting that wrong. I think I am getting that wrong. Anyway, the little girl has a connection with Swamp Thing and felt like he needed her and that he was afraid and confused. So she snuck away to go see him. Unfortunately, when she went to go see him, though, the guy that she snuck aboard his ship gets murdered because he's kind of a swamp cop. And they were bad guys laying the chemical. And so the evil dude is chasing her. Abby and Matt find the ship and then start going after her. And so the evil dude is chasing the little girl in the swamp. And before he can kill her, Swamp Thing shows up and honestly pulls a Mountain from Game of Thrones move where he just like lifts him up and throws him one-handed. But then he does something that the Mountain never did, which is call upon vines on the swamp to pull the guy limb from limb. Like literally. Like this is giving me images of, reminding me of the old school medieval torture when they'd tie ropes to your different limbs and have it be different carriages and have the horses just go. Yeah, that was a thing that we used to do in America. Yay! Anywho, they go and, I'm saying they go a lot. Also, by the way, I'm a little bit hopped on caffeine, sorry. Swamp Thing saves the little girl. They talk for a little bit. Then Abby comes. She thinks Swamp Thing is a bad guy, evil, because he does look kind of evil and menacing. I mean, he is played by one of the Jasons. So she then gets her away, and as they're talking, she says that he was just confused and scared. And she's like, did he say anything else? Yeah, his name was Alec. She's like, what the fuck? And that was the episode. There are two other things, though. One is, apparently, the rich dude who's funding Alec apparently calls in the guy who created the serum, who's a little bit obsessed with trees. Maybe you could even say flora. For those that don't get that reference in the comics, that character is Floronic Man. But we're likely never going to get to see him because we're not given a season 2. But anyway, there was also a thing with the mom of the girl who died, Abby's friend, and wife of the rich guy. Apparently, because Abby's in town and all this thing's going on, it's like hyped up her grief again. She's starting to sleep in her daughter's bedroom. She goes to see Madame Xanadu. Madame Xanadu warns her that there's a dark evil coming if she continues this, and she's like, I can't stop. And so we see her at the end in the bed with a zombified version of her daughter. Sorry about that, tech issues. As I was saying, I think the zombified girl is maybe the Grey, which is a big comic book like villain for Animal Man and Swamp Thing. And will be interesting to see how they do it live action. But if you guys want to know more information about that, look it up because I'm running out of time. And so I will just say thank you guys for watching. Next time you see me will be, honestly, tomorrow for a special playing catch-up. But that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. Till next time and beyond. That was a little bit awkward. Yeah.